Right. Number 20 says, write the name for tin SO42. Remember that tin forms several ions. So if we look at our periodic table here, we can see that tin is one of these metals underneath the nonmetals. So down here we have some metals underneath the nonmetals. The most common ones are tin, lead, and bismuth. So these can also form multiple charges, just like many of the transition metals. But the question tells us that tin can form several ions. Any transition metal or metal that can form multiple ions, which are often transition metals and the metals underneath the nonmetals, you need to put a Roman numeral on along with the name. And that Roman numeral tells you the charge on the metal, because you can have tin 2 and you can have tin 4. So we need a Roman numeral to know which tin sulfate that it is. Well, how do you figure that out? How you figure that out is using an algebra equation. Okay, so tin is X, the thing I don't know, plus 2 times negative 2. Where did this come from? This is because there are 2 sulfates, and sulfate is a charge of negative 2, so SO4 2 minus. I just had to remember that this polyatomic ion is SO4 2 minus. It did come up in a previous question, and it is just 2 minus, so it's 2 times minus 2 equals the total charge on this thing. If this thing had a total charge, it would be written right there. And in fact, it is written right there. The fact that there's no plus, minus, plus 2, minus 2, there's nothing written up here, tells us that this is neutral. What does this mean? It means the charge on tin plus the charge on sulfate equals the total charge on the species, which is 0, because if it wasn't 0, you'd see a plus or a minus or a 2 plus or a 2 minus or whatever it is up in the upper right-hand corner right here. That's where we always write the charge. Since there isn't one, the charge is 0. Now it's just an algebra problem. Again, this is just X. Sn minus 4 equals 0. Add 4 to both sides. And we get Sn equals plus 4. This tells us that it's tin, Roman numeral 4, which is IV, that's this number right here, and then sulfate, because SO4 2 minus is called sulfate. So tin 4 sulfate, which is choice letter